Win.
Then watch me do it again. Tell them I can't take no loss. My team hold no L's, no.
Yo.
Aiming for the
Oh, yeah, we got it. I can assure you get
no loss. Look, I'm always win. I ain't taking no loss. Look, I'm always win. We already know that we the coldest. Watch me heat it up, let me focus. I'm going toe to toe with foes. I know they notice. I kick in doors, they only hope for closing. Why? Cause they know I go again and go again.
What's good, my guys?
You know,
Kenny?
What's
good, my brother?
When you do a move like this and the shirt raise up above your belly, right?
Hey, listen. You know, as if you didn't tune in last week, Kenny, we already explained where these jerseys are from. We're in playoff time for some division, so we wear our championship jerseys on the show. This week, E is rocking the gold side, and I'm rocking the black side, as we did last week. We did the opposite, but Kenny.
I don't have to wear any jerseys for a while now.
Kenny,
that's pretty good.
My condolences. Both your teams went home. You played pretty well.
Well, yeah, I definitely.
You gave a good effort. But we'll get into that. Are you okay, Kenny? How you doing, Kenny?
Oh, I'm fine. I mean,
you good?
The sting, it hurts, but after, I mean, we're already done. What do you call it? We already done spoilers in the first minute. After that, like my immediate thoughts are, all right, what could I have done better, both in game and not just my own mistakes or better play, but like what could I have said to teammates as well that would have helped us play better? Because I think about it from that standpoint too. But I'm fine, annoyed, but fine.
Good.
So,
good.
Yeah.
Well, you've been there before.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but
you got
I do have when we get to those games, I do have some critiques for the team / the franchise.
Oh yeah, that'll be good. I actually have a bunch of, not even related to our team, but a bunch of macro thoughts on the games within the game. So
gotcha.
I'm glad we'll talk about a bunch of
that. We'll get to that.
Yes.
Because I got some we'll get into it. I'm not even. What's up, man?
Let me drive the show real quick.
Go, here we go. You about to ask some shit, then I gotta duck a question.
No. Because this is not to belittle any division, but we're just talking about in terms of importance of games. So let's be real about it. D2 and D1's games were elimination games, right? So
yes,
we're going to talk about D3, but they will get their time when their playoffs start.
Yeah, they'll get more. Definitely get more. Yeah,
so
they'll get the.
D3.
We're gonna go in depth a little bit with the other divisions because of where we are at this.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I meant by drive. You always ask me where do I want to start.
That's fair.
Let's start with D3, and like I said, it's not to rush through the games, but we want to do it in terms
we have a little bit more
importance based on the previous week. That's all I'm saying.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's start with D3. I'm not sure.
Start with one game. Let me drive a little bit. Let's start with that PTSD game.
PTSD.
Oh man, that was a lot of notes.
I want to talk about this game because 0-5.
Let's see.
Who wants to start? Because I have a lot to say too. So we all gonna get our chance.
Let me drive the show. I want you.
All right, good. I got you.
You driving?
You're right. You're right.
Any opinion?
I get in the passenger. Me, Kenny, me and you I get in the passenger seat, or you get in the passenger seat. I get in the back.
You know where I'm going. 0 and 5. Here. Talk to me.
Oh,
and for those that don't know, 0 and 5 since they got their new QB. So it's been 5 weeks.
Kenny, you want to start, or you want me to start? It's up to you.
Let me look at my notes. I mean, this was an interesting game because I was actually sitting in a chair watching it live.
Okay.
It had a bunch of no plays that throughout the whole game. I mean, it was Andy versus Chicken, this one. I'd say if I'd sum this up in 2 words, drop central. PTSD actually should have won this game in regulation, but they had some egregious drops inside the 5. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Head scratches.
Okay.
Kenny, audio. Yeah, we can't hear you.
But for those that didn't watch, he's talking about their patented pitch play. I don't want to give any.
No, nothing, Kenny.
Better?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. I don't know what's up with this mic. Yes. The drops is Eve was recovering my mic drop there, which I think is fitting given the game we're talking about. Yes, most of the drops
today. All right.
Yeah.
I always get my mind
early.
loose like that.
Yeah, starting early. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most of the drops were routine where you'd expect guys to come up with them 90% of the time. But I guess that's part of the reason why they're 0-5. I mean, what else do you write down there? Both QBs missed some throws. And I guess there's so many places I want to go with this. Without practicing, you'd expect back.
Mike went out again, Kenny.
I feel like house party when they kept bumping the table.
Don't worry, Kenny. Take your time. We are.
Go ahead, Rob. Go ahead.
I don't want to jump. I don't want to step on Kenny's point because I kind of see where he's going.
Can he at least hear us? That way, you guys understand.
Kenny can hear us. I'm very critical of Chick, and to Chick, I'm very critical of him because I've been a teammate of Chick for many years. My critique of these losses, maybe the last two, is they are always in position to win the game. But Chick sometimes has this tendency to try to win it at this specific moment, when literally you just have to continue playing football.
Mm-hmm.
Just play the game. Just play the game. I don't know. I don't know if he's trying to relive a glory years moment. I don't know. Kenny, you back? You good?
Can you hear me?
Yes. All right, good, Kenny.
Okay. I think it was the wrong setting. That's what you get Mike and Mac working together. Great. Yeah. Continue. I don't want to interrupt your point.
No, you good. Yeah, I could jump back into that. Go ahead. You finish your point. You were at you were saying something about practice.
Yeah.
You would expect this with no practice.
You would expect, and I guess that's something I got to talk about later, and like a few other points I had, not even related to this game. But you would expect guys to be more competent. That's the safest way to say it. Like I was watching that game, and like maybe one drop was an actual true difficult catch. Most of them are routine, and anyone can get better just by practicing. Like you get a football from anywhere. It doesn't even have to be an $80 Duke. Just get a football. Two things. You have to look, you see the ball, you catch the ball. If you don't see the ball, you're going to drop the pass a lot. And you have to catch with your hands too. And practice it. Practice it like you're actually playing. So I don't know if you see your hands on camera. You could throw your hands out to grab the ball. Don't let it come to your body. That's like I don't want to say rookie mistake, but that's more of a confidence thing when you're not catching with your hands. And every direction, like high one hand, high two hands, left, right, every direction, mirror what it's like to actually go out. You don't need someone throwing to either. You can throw it up to yourself. And I guarantee if you do that at least 100 times a week, and that's like really, I do way more than that. If you do that, you're going to get better, guaranteed. Practice it as you catch it. Like, there's no reason they should be dropping it at that rate. And that's what like is going to make them very easy to oust once they get into the playoffs. You can't even rely on them. Like that's a game they should have won. They should have won that game in regulation. And even the guy almost had an interception in overtime. And that just summed it up. Like Andy threw a pass. He got his hands on the ball and he dropped it. I mean, maybe Andy gets him before he runs it back, but maybe he runs it back and he ends it in overtime. And of course, the next player, the play after that, they win the game, Thunder do. So I'm like, that just summed it up just watching.
Oh, you're talking about Damu had a chance for a pick.
Okay, that's his name. Yeah. He did.
Yeah.
He just dropped it. And it was a relatively easy pick too.
But more so than this this game. I just want to talk over everything because this probably was our first OT game this year, right?
Yes.
So if you want to explain to them how OT works in this league.
So I know we've become, some of our players have become used to no OT and ending in ties and stuff like that, or there's no ties here. The OT rules are you get 4 downs from the 50. You have to get a stop. You got to get a score and a stop. The other team does get a chance to respond if you have the ball first. You have the ball first, you'll start at the 50, you'll drive. You get 4 downs. If you don't get in, the opposing team gets the chance to go from there. If they get in, they already got their stop, they score, they win the game. If both teams do not score, you alternate one play from the 5-yard line until one team gets a score and the other team gets a stop. So there are no ties here. This game went to, which we would call our double overtime, which it was going to be one play. So which was pretty cool to watch, to be honest. It's always good to be in the first of anything. And I think it's a good system we have for our overtime.
It actually ended pretty funny because the guy dove for Andy's flag and his team
somehow pulled his own flag.
They thought that he pulled Andy's flag, but in diving to the ground, his flag came off.
Everybody's like, his flag's off.
Rob, flag is off.
And the whole time I'm there like this.
Like touchdown. Andy has
my guys.
Yelling at Rob.
That sucks.
But he still has 3 flags on. I didn't see him pull that flag. Anyway, so all right, let me get back into my critique of this. Okay, so Chick is an older QB, right? Been doing this for a very long time. So with the saying is, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, right? So the stubbornness of what he does maybe is just sometimes embedded. Chick also, it's been years where he wanted to show guys that he can QB because he hasn't been playing. And in that, there's the error of you don't always need to show them you can QB. This game, he already showed off some talent. He threw a bomb, floated it way up into the air, touchdown. Boom, another dime down the next sideline. You done did that already. Now you have the lead. Now I'm a person that never thinks you should try to just hold the team off. You keep playing, but that doesn't mean we're throwing bombs. Run the O like you were running. You know what I mean? But there were two or three times I think he went for the kill shot, and these kill shots resulted in interceptions going the other way, which then kept the Thunder in the game. Now, the Thunder, some of you guys got to catch the rock. Jimmy, I'm gonna need some catches, bro. You had a chance to give your team the win.
Yeah.
On a wide open out. Andy trusted you on the left side of the touchdown. Easy catch. You have to make that catch. Andy also, this is something that I'm going to say to you. Any QB, not even Andy, any QB. Andy's newer to the league, so he does not know everybody. There are some plays where you have to know your personnel. Right? Every guy cannot make every catch. And you have to use them as such. It's everybody's not like me. You could toss them any football. I go up, get it. You're not pitching the ball. You're not pitching the ball to E at the line of scrimmage and expecting him to dodge people.
Why not?
Kenny's like, why not? Because we're not getting no yards. The flag's gonna be pulled right away. Kenny, you can pitch, you can catch the up top ball. You can, you're like me. So, but E high over the middle. You don't throw me the ball high over the middle. You could, but you don't. You would throw it to E because he's taller, bigger stature. He goes up a little higher. He can get up a little higher than me. I don't know about all the extra stuff you tacking on there, E, but you can have it. You can have it today. So just know your personnel there. Now, holding on to the ball too long sometimes. This is the critique for PTSD. Chick, sometimes he's holding on the ball too long. Another thing is this scrambling to one side of the field and taking away, completely cutting off another side of the field. And people may be open on that other side, but you can't throw across your body. Like, I don't care what QB you are, unless once in a while it may work, but you can't cut off half the field all the time. Now the receivers, there was some drops that I Kenny, you already went over it. I just can't believe it, and it'll be an easy catch that was made difficult. There was one that I felt was an easy catch that was made difficult. I felt like the moment of getting this win was too big for some of these guys, because I kind of feel they choked this win. They choked this game away. That's how I felt about it. They had the win in the bag. They go to their staple goal line play that we have watched work week and week and week after week. And today, when it's the time to do it and you're going to win the game, they drop it.
All right. So let me go to the standard. I want to plug a show. First take, whatever, get up question. Did the Thunder win this game, or did PTSD lose it?
A little of both. A little of both. Because
it's not a pie. It's not 50-50. Give me which side is more.
Because for me, because I'm gonna go 40% Thunder won it, 60% PTSD lost it, only because they ran their staple play at a time where it was opportunity to win the game, and they didn't convert when they could have won it in regulation if they convert there. Mm-hmm. But then the Thunder get the stop. Mm-hmm. Some whether it's credit to the Thunder or credit to the drop, they get the stop.
Because there was still another down after that.
There was another down, and they stopped them. Mm-hmm. They applied pressure the next down, got the stop. We go the other way, and they go down and score. Yeah, it's something like that, right? Did they go down and score? Yeah, or was it tied? Either way, we get to overtime.
They had the extra point that if they got that, they would have that would have been PTSD won the game. If they had, I think it was the extra point play, right?
What the
one play? No, PTSD had a chance to win it in regulation. Or was that another touchdown? I know they had plays right in front of the goal line.
I think the pitch
the touchdown
was like the pitch. I think the pitch was for the touchdown. I think would have put them up. And then I don't think they scored on that drive. No. And we go the other way. But then also, and that's I know you don't want to put it on one play, but that play wins you the game.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Then there's also the 2 picks chick through. Mm-hmm. No need to go downfield there, and it looked like they were thrown to him. Like it looked like he was
like Andy was the intended receiver.
Yeah, it looked like he had a good game as a defender. Yes, he's playing both sides of the ball in this game. So now we go down the other way. They get the stop. Then Andy gets the play, and on 4th down, which I think it was 4th down, he gets the little pump, gets the giver to jump. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I don't know how much passes are blocked that we always jump by the little pump. I've seen people jump when people are running 16 yards from the line of scrimmage already downfield, and they pump and somebody a jump. Where's he throwing? It's just like, just discipline.
It's natural.
Just discipline.
Yeah.
No, it's flag. Go for the flag. If he would have went for the flag there, they might have got another chance. You know what I mean? But and Andy made the play, gets in the end zone, big time play at the end of the game. He closed. That's what he did. He closed. So you know what? We're gonna go 45.
Yeah, Thunder had 55. Curtis had a good game. What was this guy's name?
Justin G.
Justin JG.
Okay, JG.
Yeah, he had a big game.
Mm-hmm. Yes, him too. I keep forgetting. I wanted to say Luke.
Then that's also Aaron from Aaron from PTSD also had a big game. Had a good game.
Okay.
That's the black guy with the glasses. For this.
Yeah. Only one of them on their team.
There's only one of them on their team.
That's the one that it was a low throw, an extra point, and he scooped it up. He had a good catch.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He caught 2 bomb. He caught 2 bombs, I think, this game. Yeah. And look at the score, 40-34. So they're putting up the points. It's just they're not closing. And this game specifically, it was, I'm gonna call it a slight choke job. Let's we're not gonna sugarcoat it today. We're getting towards the end.
Although even saying choke implies that you would expect them to make the play. Is that shady for me to say that? When they're going to make the play.
You know what? Because I'm gonna say yes because they ran their staple play.
They have
now.
That play
I'm gonna say one thing.
All season,
it was dropped. I do think it should have been caught, but it was thrown to further back on the show. It wasn't an easy one. So I'm not telling you like that.
But
it's usually in the basket, but it hit him when he was coming across. It hit him on the back shoulder, and he kind of had to reach back. So it wasn't perfectly done, and that can be nerves. That's why I'm calling it a choke job. I know Chick wants to win. I know he wants to, make a splash, but you got to execute. Right. And what affects execution? Nerves. And that's why I'm going to call it a little choke.
If you said we're going to talk, and we're going to talk today, right? Like we're getting real. It's getting time to playoffs. Let's talk.
We're getting the playoff time, so we got to be a little harsher.
I'm not even going to call it choke, the biggest disappointment of the week. And you know what I'm talking about. Please flip to that next slide. A team that you bigged up, and they had a statement game this week, a chance to prove everybody right. Well, prove you right that they belong.
I know where he's going
with the big dogs. And we get this. We get this. I can call it choke or anything like that, but talk about it, man. Talk about it.
First, let me give a shout out to the Caliphs. The Caliphs are locking everybody up.
Shout out or apology? Which one?
What?
Shout out or apology?
No, I ain't giving no apologies.
Okay.
Bring AZ. Nah, I'm just but we're looking at the hold on, Adam in here. Oh, all right, we got all right, hold on. Before we get into this, we got a very, 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 very special guest. We've been on previous shows together, and one of our guys, very we love this guy here, and let me just bring him on.
Oh nah, besides he yelled at me last week, but besides that we good.
Adam,
what's happening?
What's good, my brother?
I'm happy to be back.
Adam,
we gotta go back to I'm good. I'm chilling. How you guys doing?
We good. We good.
He
wants to, I know you want to go back to your Thunder.
I gotta go back to them real quick.
We got you today. All right, there we go. We right back on your Thunder.
This man Jimmy might have more drops on the season than catches. But I'm willing to put money on that. I'm willing to put money he has dropped more passes than catches. Yo, that's crazy.
Oh, man.
Jimmy's got to wake up.
That was a rough one.
He does. And Jimmy, because you've been dropping it, you're gonna get lax defense. So you need to capitalize on that.
He talks too much on the sideline too. Like he's talking a big game.
So,
he wears. What number does he wear? 87. Isn't that Travis Kelce's number?
Gronk, Kelsey.
That's a crazy number to wear. We got to flip those numbers around and make it a 78. If you could wear 78 right now, Jimmy.
78?
What's that? An offensive line?
Wow. Let's address the elephant in the room. Since we're talking about the Thunder.
Yeah.
Why are you not on this team and in this group chat telling this to him? Why are you a Caliph?
Well, I mean, you guys were about to talk about I'm a Caliph. You see what's happening. That's what
I get the Caliph. So why are you a Caliph? You aren't you the
Mr. Thunder?
Not anymore. Nah, Yusuf's holding it down. He's a good captain.
I'm not saying he's not, but why are you not there running this team with him? That's the question.
I had to move on for a little bit.
Listen, the man wanted to get away from running everything. He just wants to play.
That's a great answer.
And he's playing some very good football and enjoying himself out there. And that's what it's about. And sometimes you need to take a step back from too much responsibility and just enjoy what you enjoy doing.
This is the most fun I've had.
And I'll bring private conversations to like we spoke to each other, and it's like, yeah, just play.
Play.
You know, we spoke about it. Just play the games, man. Don't worry about all the other stuff. Just come out and play.
It's fun. I've had playing football in years.
Yeah.
Good. And that's
I remember my
about.
first few games. I was like, oh shit, I forgot I had fun here.
Good.
But
so
yeah, listen, I'm still rooting for those Thunder guys. They just I don't know, man. 78's got to catch the ball.
78. So now that we're done with your Thunder, let's move on to your current team. Wait, hold on. They played a couple games this week. The Cal Leafs.
I got the.
Oh, you got the wheel. I'm sorry.
I know your team watches the pod. A lot of them watch the pod. Take us into the team group chat. They hear us talk. Well, Rob more so than me. I talk about the Spartans. Boy. Rob talks about the Ravens. Take us into your group chat when they hear.
Wait a second. Our Spartans?
No. Your Ravens.
Our Spartans.
Huh?
Our Spartans.
Oh, now you disown the Ravens? Go ahead.
I disowned them last week.
You got it. You did a little bit.
Yeah.
What's the talking as much as you can tell us.
Honestly, we don't talk about it that much. We know what the real deal is. Maybe AZ will watch every now and then, but the rest of us, we just come out there and play. We're having fun together. There's a lot of chemistry in the group. We don't worry about it. It's the truth. We have it all season. We know what the deal is. We know what we have to do now.
But y'all only gave up about 16 points for the season, so it's like
I think we gave up like 30 to the elites this week, right? Something like that.
Yeah, but y'all still have given up the least amount of points in the division.
I think we're under 100 for the season.
Yeah, regardless if the offense is what it is, nobody's scoring on you guys. So, and that's what wins. That's what wins championships.
This game. Talk to us about this game.
I mean, first of all, like our MVP is Jay. Like I don't know if we're doing end of year awards, but in D3, like I think it's very clear who's running away with it.
Whoa! Running away.
It's not close.
He has a brother from another mother.
Yeah,
we have something
let's
to say
forget about that. That man.
I'll take Jay 5 days out of 6 days. I'll take Jay 8 days out of the week. I don't care. Our offense is humming, and we're very confident in back there. And then the defense. I mean, look, I think the Ravens, unfortunately, they couldn't build a lot of momentum. A couple key drops on key drives, a couple of defensive lapses, but. Look, we've been doing it to a lot of teams this year. That's the truth. But I think they're really talented. They just they ran into a buzzsaw this week.
All right. Well, defense. We know what the defense has been doing. Kenny, what were your thoughts on this game?
I think you guys already talked about some of it. I mean, I wasn't surprised the Caliphs won. I didn't know that they win big like that, but I think that just shows the line of demarcation between the elite teams and they're like, we're not so sure they're elite teams. And I think the Cavs beat them up here. And just watching the game, there was actually a play, the thumbnail, which was great. I love the thumbnail that I think Fat Man put on. Fat Man Peter, shout out to him, his real name Peter, with Abdul on the throwing the peace sign back. They just, I mean, that's actually something I wrote down in my notes because it covers like something beyond this game. Actually, like I think the best thing to call it is lane integrity when you're playing defense. Like, and this is something a lot of times, even on like I'm on camera, you hear me saying like stay there or stay inside, etc. When I'm trying to go after someone as a defender, you want people to run to the ball, but you have to do it in a way that's not going to leave gaps to which your defense can be exploited. I mean, like that play was emblematic with
message.
Yes.
Yeah.
With Abdul. They had two Ravens defenders there. I won't name them, but I saw them both. One immediately in front of him. But the way he went at it, like he left the whole sideline open, which is like, ugh. Which in and of itself is not horrible, but you could have had better placement there, but that necessarily wasn't a kill shot. Like if they understood, like, all right, we want to go after him, but we have to stay parallel. Because the one thing I try to avoid if like there's multiple defenders in front of a receiver is like we need to crash the ball, but you can't like circle him unless you actually grab him and circle him. The danger of doing that is like if you have two people perpendicular to each other, it's very easy for the offensive player to do one move. If he gets out either way, now one of the defenders is blocking the other.
Mhm.
We can't have things like that where, all right, we make a bad move and now they can get out the gate and get big yards. That play in of itself, you watch what Abdul did to make the defender miss. Like, this is a perfect example of just good offense and like we got to think about defense in game. That's something that came to mind there. And there was, there's other notes. I don't remember what I wrote in the notes, but that's something I was like, yeah, this is the perfect play of like the game within the game of like the play is happening. How are we actually going to defend what's in front of us? So that's a note that came to mind watching that.
Rob, did either of you ref this? I forget.
I did.
No, I didn't.
Okay, yeah.
He refed it. Yeah. Kenny, that was a very in-depth
real
point.
quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
We talk about 39-7. We're shellacking. All right. We don't always have the man here, and he's family, but he's a guest tonight. You're not right now, for the sake of this question, you're not on the Caliphs, right? Who is the biggest threat to this Caliphs team? The Adamless Caliphs. Who's the biggest D3 threat? Sorry, if I can get that out.
I think the scores would tell you the elites. I wasn't there for the whole elites game, so I don't know. But so far, that's the team that I think I when I see probably has the most experience plus talent. The Spartans, the last time I played against them, didn't impress me. I know they're doing really well, but I wasn't moved. So I know that's the running joke, even though we all know the truth. So I would say the elites, but I don't know. I don't really know, to be honest. I'm really proud of the way we played this season. I'm not impressed. I think it's a shock. I think I can't believe we were even allowed to play together, this group. I know I'm talking big, but it feels like the truth right now.
I mean, well, you guys are playing. It is the truth right now. But
I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think there's a threat to us?
I do have a game plan.
Sparty.
I have a game. I have a game plan against your team.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. I think if the Ravens have a good game, because I think they're actually pretty talented. Like when I was looking at the receivers, I was like, oh, they got guys. Like there's people here like Ike, Kenny, obviously. Carlos has moments every now and then. Fab.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's sick. So they got people. They just got to click. I mean, they didn't click. You saw the game. They got no momentum.
None.
At all.
None.
Do y'all think this was a pressure moment for the Ravens due to the fact that, to be honest, the Caliphs are you're gonna have to see the Caliphs, and this game at this juncture in the season on how we've been talking on here, it's like shit. All right, now we got to go up against the Caliphs and prove ourselves, or vice versa. Do you think it was just too much pressure at this juncture?
I think it's inexperience in bigger games. Right, like Umar's like improved, right? But like now he's starting to play in those games that like really matter, right? Like before you were just looking for like progression from him. Now he's progressed. He's a serviceable QB. He's got to get the offense clicking. There were a couple, like the one big mistake I remember, it was like 4th and 2, and all you need to do is dump it to get the first down. Like that's really what you should be doing. He threw it like 20 yards down the field, right? Like that's a lack of experience. That's a lack of like understanding what Kenny said, the game in the game. And then on defense, I mean, the lane integrity things, they weren't adjusting. I didn't see that. So I think it's, you gotta be able to adapt. I didn't see it. I think they can do it. They just gotta make it happen. But I don't think they were nervous. I think they have players in that team who played in really big games before. So you gotta click.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. What did you think?
I'm disappointed. No. Like I'm not even like you get this game, and as a rep, like we look forward to certain games. Certain games.
That was the game to have. That was one of the games to have
on the calendar, because there are some D3 games like you can't. Yeah. We can't say it, but you kind of know,
right,
who's gonna win going in. This one, you kind of have an idea, but you don't have 32-point victory. You think they're gonna show some fight, and I'm not gonna say they.
I think the only play they scored on was one where Saf just like whiffed at the interception.
Oh, and the Merce play, yeah.
Yeah.
That was
it actually looked like good defense too. It just kind of just missed
great
everything and dropped in the basket.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But yeah, I feel like it was the moment. Sometimes the moment is too big for some people at some point.
It's only going to get bigger.
Absolutely. But there's
That's
steps.
disappointing.
There's steps to it. You know what I mean? Like you gotta, if especially okay, I'm gonna specifically speak about Omar, right? Especially a guy that's trying to ascend upward, right? You have your moments. Then he's had games before throughout this season where it was like, what happened? And then the next he'll come back and he'll get back to where he should be going. And then this might have been another game where it's like a slap moment, and then now he has to regroup and figure out what he has to do. They're also a system team to me, so you're gonna have when you get in deep into the playoffs, you're gonna have to be able to deviate from the system to be successful, because the better teams are gonna key in on certain things or be able to stop certain things that might have worked throughout the season. Now on the fly, you're gonna have to adjust your offense a little bit. So it's I feel like they do what they do, but what's the next when that's stopped? What are you going to do?
Well, that's where players make plays because, and this is no secret, but what was always, if we're going to say there was one, a knock on Jay, that he was a system quarterback, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Jay runs a system also.
Yeah. So, but the players have to make plays, man.
You do, right? But okay, so let's go back to a different time, right? Jay had the system working where they looked unstoppable, and then there was teams that came in and knew the system, and there were some losses that were had. Right now, I don't know. I can't remember exactly what the system exactly was before. Now the system's working again, and then now you also have a solid team around in the system of veteran guys, because the Caliphs do a lot of little gamesmanship type of plays and smart IQ plays that make shorter plays become bigger plays, and they're doing that. They're pitching the ball. They're doing all the little crafty shit to make Jay's job a little bit easier, because now he doesn't have to get it on the throw all the time. You know what I mean? So they're just a veteran bunch around him in addition to that, because any system can be stopped. So it's just, what are you going to do when your system is stopped? Because you got to adjust. I know I played with so much of the teams that I know a couple of the team system. I know what the first play off the friggin' E. You play with some guys, what the first play is. You know what was called from standing on. Oh, hey, look, watch what's gonna happen here. They need a first down. This guy is running that. I know what, and what is they're running. But if a team knows that and that's not there, what can you go to? Can you adjust on the fly? And that's what you're gonna have to do deep into the playoffs. So that's my take on that. So this looks like
the Ravens
you're being stopped and you have nothing else to go to.
The bad teams. This was a chance. Again, I'm not big on the moral victory. That was more so you guys back in the days, you know that. But 39-7.
A shellacking.
Yeah, this is
a shellacking. Are we surprised? I think so.
I'm surprised at the score. I'm not surprised at the loss.
You're not surprised at the loss, because Caliph stopped people and score. Veteran bunch, veteran QB with a system, team full of guys that do it. I'm not, but yeah, this was a little disappointing, and that's just about it. But I
do think they're talented.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
That's the disappointment.
Yeah.
So they got to go back. They got to go to the drawing board and look back at this game. One good thing is everything is recorded, man. Go look back at this game. See what the heck you did wrong. See what you didn't do right. Not even what you did. Like, it's the same thing, but you understand there's a difference when you say it in a different way. Omar is gonna have to grow again. Pause. You got it. I knew Kenny was gonna laugh. Omar is gonna have to again. All right, and he's ascended up to, as Adam said.
Forward. I got you. Man.
As Adam said, he's progressed forward. Better terminology, right? He's progressed forward, but he's gonna have to progress forward again because you're getting to these points. You're getting to a. No matter what I say, I'm gonna have to say pause. You're getting to a deeper point in the season. Pause. Yeah, you know what? Forget it, man. Yeah, I got what I'm saying.
That's the next line. Go to my team, who's the biggest threat to the Calips, and I'm standing by.
And someone in the comments brought up a good point though. Like they did give up 39 points, so defensively too. It was
defense didn't show up either.
Yeah.
But is that a function of also the offense not doing what it had to do? Or
definitely.
Yeah.
If you're putting the Calips in good scoring position, they're already going to score. You're going to put them closer or give them more opportunities to do so. You got Abdul giving people the deuces and shit. So you don't know how entertaining watching things like that are back on video. Yeah. I've been I'm in that goal. Let me get the next game up and then I'll wait, which one is it? Was it Rob and the Spartans? There we go. Yeah. Watching some of the banter on video has been some of the most entertaining things I can see. You watch Dre from the Goodfellas laugh like in the middle of it. Yo, it is so funny. Yeah. So all right, Adam,
what's up?
The Spartans.
Yeah, this is an impressive score. I think that the Bengals were the first team in the division to score more than 14 points on us. So the fact that they held them to 6 was pretty cool. I'm happy for them. I think the Spartans are the 2 seed. They have 1 loss. I forget who they lost to, but it's they're doing all right. Ali and Aziz are a really big addition for both of them. Look, I've always thought Rob was a pretty talented QB. I just think he didn't have the best receivers around him all the time. He's got more talent around him than I've seen in a pretty long time, and it's showing. So, look, they're riding high into the playoffs to the 2 seed. They're the favorites to win the chip. Let's see if they can get it done now. But and on the Bengals, I actually look. They gave us a little bit of work when we played them, so I think there's some talent there. But 6 points, you got to be better than that at this point in the season.
6 points, and it was a defensive touchdown.
Kenny was going to mention. You were going
I
to
don't see Riley. Yeah, I don't see Riley in that picture. That's a huge loss for them.
He didn't
obviously.
play that game.
Yeah.
They showed up. They showed up after.
Okay.
Yeah, they joined the game after. The whatchamacallit, was the other game going on at the same time as this?
Ball up top at the same time.
The ball up top might have been playing at the same time because they showed up at mid game. Yeah.
All right.
Kazi's the most entertaining QB in the league.
Yeah, he is. He's fun. He's fun to watch.
Yeah.
We'll see, man. The Bengals got cleaned up though. 6 points isn't good enough at this point in the season. You got to get down the field. You got to know what works for you at this point in the season. If you don't know what works for you, you're probably in trouble. You're probably in the bottom half of the seats.
Kenny, you look like you got something to say about this one.
Yeah, I wrote down a few notes. Yeah, I saw the comment about Kazi. It's fitting. He had a highlight reel run on their first drive. He made it
every game.
Yeah, it was really good. And they had a Hail Mary that just came up short on the first drive too. That was entertaining. That was the closest they got. No. They had someone else. They had another play too where they got stopped in front of the line for it when they were trying to score a touchdown. That was the closest they got mostly. Yeah, you're right. No offensive scores. They had that highlight reel pick 6 right before the first half. That was good. I was looking at it, I was like, why aren't they scoring in this game? I mean, Spartans have a pretty good defense with I forgot his name. Call him Slick Rick. We'll call him that. He did a good job at rushing, but I just noticed like when they run their routes, after they finish their route, they just kind of stand there. Nobody breaks open to give the quarterback any place to throw. And it's relatively easy to defend, which is one of the reasons why they're not scoring and moving the ball. Not going to help you against good teams, but and we got to give credit to the Spartans too. They played good defense. They had their guys do what they had to do, but would have liked to see more from the Bengals in this one. So.
I have a counterpoint to something you just said.
Okay.
sometimes I've seen a couple plays where, because there's some guy, the guy that could find a little hole after the play breaks down, and then what would happen is another guy would come over and bring in an additional defender. So they have to figure out what to tell the certain receivers. Like some guys can't deviate. Everybody can't.
Yeah.
There's specific guys that are allowed because they understand the spacing of the plays, where they know where they can go and where they can come back to. And sometimes you literally just got to get your guy out of the way for the guy, which who might be guy to make a play. Yeah.
That's true.
As for Kazi, one thing you can't get an incompletion on first down and then pitch the ball on second down. Pitch the ball on first down and then take the throw on second down. But now you've wasted 2 plays if that pitch doesn't break it. You understand what I'm saying? There was a drive where it was an incompletion to the left sideline. Then the next play was a quick pitch. The quick pitch is a drive starter, not after the incompletion. So it's just little things. And then listen, man, boogie on these guys a little bit more, man. Them feet work.
They do work.
He is actually one of the shiftiest QBs you watch out there, and he loses people. Run. When everything's not, when it breaks down and you don't have that throw, run. That's about it, man. Like they have the guys. They can be good. We've seen Brian catch the bomb. We see what Guy can do. I don't know if his name is Steve. The other guy, you have all capable guys. Q has been Q is very serviceable.
Richie
outlet. Y'all have them, and you also have Riley. You have the pieces. Just got to put it together. This game here, and for 20 and. The Spartans scored 26. The Spartans I know they didn't have Aziz, which is gonna hurt a little bit, but they do a lot of one-play touchdowns, a lot of big games. So 26 defensively, I actually think this is pretty good. You just got to score.
Workman like victory.
Yeah, it wasn't just a slapping. They worked for these 26, 26-0 because they didn't give up any touchdowns on defense either. So maybe it's credit to the Spartans defense.
It's true.
They're trying to show somebody that they got defense also. Try to show somebody. I don't know who that somebody is, but Adam and you guys can and I hope
figure out who somebody said they're not even the biggest threat to them. Elite to the biggest threat.
Elite to the biggest threat. All right, man. On this one?
I'm gonna text my brother soon. Huh?
We only had the ball 5 times. You heard that? You heard that, Adam? They only had the rock 5 times. Let's go.
They should have scored 35 points. I don't know why they got 26.
Whoa. There will be no Spartan slander on my watch, all right?
Whatchamacallit played another game, right?
The Cavs
played 2.
Cavs played twice. It's Cavs Elites. There we go. Okay. EUC, go ahead, E. You haven't said much, did you? What you got to say on this one?
I want Adam to start off with this one. Go ahead. He's here. Let me talk about the game.
I actually didn't show up until the second half of this game. Yeah. I didn't show up until the second half of this game. I had a D2 playoff game. First half with the Goodfellas. Yeah. That's the game I yelled at you at. Like I said, I think the Elites are the biggest threat to us. I think just top to bottom, their mix of talent and experience is good enough to beat a lot of teams in this division. I think that's the most points that have been scored on us all season at 27. And I think at some point we were even losing, which I don't think has happened past the first 5 minutes of any game this season. I think we've been ahead at most junctures in every game. So the fact that they were up past 10 minutes was pretty impressive. So we'll see. I mean, I think they're the team that's probably going to make a deep push and figure it out, come the playoffs. But pause. Big pause. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't know, man. I think Jay figured it out. I think the defense figured it out. I think we're a little quicker than them at the top level, so I think that all played out at the end.
Rob, did you do this game?
Yes, I did.
All right. You've been real flip-floppy on your power ranking. So after watching this game, did elites climb up in your mind?
No.
Oh, okay.
There was some errors by the elites in this game. So the elites don't get because of the team and the players on this team. They don't get the mistakes as an excuse because you're veteran guys. You should know better. Well, there's no body on this team that's a rookie or somebody who should not know better. There was a key offsides play. When I mean like 2 yards offside, there was a play where there was a dropped bomb. There was a lot of plays where you guys should know better.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get those excuses. You guys are veteran players. Like you don't get that from me. You don't get it. So they have to focus. Like especially I'm very I'm at the line. You can look down and see there should be no offsides. There should be no offsides. And on the offsides play, I got a critique for Hash. Hash needs to hold back his frustrations in key moments. He was so mad that there was an offsides that he didn't do anything with the football. You take a completion there or a bomb and hope you catch it so you can do the play again. He took a sack and he was so pissed about it. He took a sack. It's you gotta. I get it.
Play the play. Yeah.
Play the play. It's so
your goal on that is to make the defense accept the penalty.
Yes, and go back the 5 yards and do your play again. So that's my knock there. But those guys shouldn't be making those mistakes to have him frustrated because you guys, we've been playing too long to make those mental errors. Also, guys have some catches have to be made. They have to be made. You got some of the guys that have dropped the catches are premier guys that don't get an excuse to drop. You can't drop the ball. Of all the people here, you're one that can't drop it. I'm not gonna get into who they know who they are.
All right.
We expect better from you.
Let's just say you got the Caliphs and the tier by themselves now, right? For argument's sake. Elites, Spartans, Ravens. Rank them.
Elites, Spartans, Ravens. Spartans. This next one's a toss up. I'm gonna go Ravens elites. Kenny?
I'd say Spartans, elites, Ravens, just because I think you trust the elites a little more, even though I would argue that the Ravens have better other talent. But I just like
other talent. Other? What does that mean? What does other talent mean? What's other talent?
Surrounding talent.
I'm host today, so what's other talent mean?
I just say
they want to know, what does other talent mean?
I think
other than what? What other means what?
And I'm not even like criticizing.
I asked a question, Kenny. That's very difficult to not answer my question as the host of the show today, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Other means what?
Non-QB, I would say. And that's not knock on Omar either. That's just I'm taking the quarterbacks out of it, and I'm thinking about like who does each team have? And you could argue that the Ravens have better talent. But I think it's also the elites have been together longer. And you just trust them more, even though I'm like, all things equal, you might take Ravens talent first. But that's why I'd still put the elites over. I just trust the elites more to figure out how to get it done, even with Hash's funny outbursts, which I laughed a few times. I'm watching the game like, this is hilarious. But I get it. As a quarterback, it's very frustrating to watch your team either miss relatively easy catches or, like the offsides play, other things like that. And like,
oh, he was pissed.
Yeah. Although it doesn't help when you're like yelling and growling at him, but I get it. I understand.
Yeah.
So Adam, we're going to assume that you're going Elites, Spartans, Ravens.
Yeah, but I would say this. I think Kenny made a good point. Let's say everyone's clicking on all cylinders that day for some reason. I would actually put the Ravens above all of them in terms of talent. I think the combination of Ike and Fabi, that's a lot of Paul's size. You know what I mean? But it's the truth.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
you get it within 20 yards of the end zone, you should be scoring.
Part of my reasoning was because of the player Fabi has become.
Yeah.
I don't think there's one guy, maybe Ali on the Spartans, that can match what Fabi can output.
Yeah.
Or in a size pause.
No, we still have ZQ. He can be imposing.
Yes, but
we saw it against
Fabi is a little bit more
against the Ravens. I get it.
Fabi's a little bit more slippery.
Huh?
Fabi's a little bit more slippery than ZQ is. If that makes any sense to me. If that pause. That's terrible.
Slippery.
Elusive.
Yeah, slippery is a crazy word.
Slippery is crazy.
Yeah,
Slippery is crazy.
My bad, guys. Soon as Adam come on the show, it's been 4 or 5. It's Adam. Adam's the problem. My bad. That was crazy. Yeah, none of y'all even looked at me like, give me a
we all
I was waiting for someone else
to clean that up.
Pause.
Yeah, elusive. Well, I'll get into that a little bit in our when we get to D2 on why I have these thoughts about Fabi. Pause. So, are y'all done?
Oh my! What am I hearing?
All right. But other than that,
we definitely at the end we have to do a pause compilation.
All the pauses, right?
All pauses.
Callis played very well. Like I said, the veteran stuff where they're pitching the ball and doing all these things. It's just you watch it and it's like boom, and you watch it set up. These are things you see veteran teams in even like rough touch, and when we watch our other leagues and stuff like that, they get in that line and start pitching it, and you don't even, it's just they're veteran bunch. All right, let's get to the lights out game. Lights out Hunters. Rome was QB for the Hunters. Did good. I thought he played very well for a first time QB here. The only critique was he has to step back from the line. You got to remember he's short, just like I am. We can't be up at the line because we get our passes batted a lot. Q stepped in as QB some of the times just to run, and then threw a bonehead pick. It was a terrible pick, but he's not a QB, so we're not going to knock him for it. It was a moment of, this is why I don't QB. But he's so elusive movement-wise that he made a difference when he was doing that. Basically ran all the way downfield and then ran a touchdown in at some point. Lights Out seems to have figured it out. I don't want to rush through this game, but we need to get to the D2. Kenny, what are your thoughts on this game?
I don't know what their QB plan is. Is it just because Joubert wasn't there this week, or is this guy new QB? What's the deal there? That's my first question.
We have no idea.
Because I was watching the game live on the field. I was like, they can't win with him at QB. And I hate I feel bad when I kill people on the podcast. It's sort of public, but I feel like we're doing people a disservice if we're not honest. So I was like, they can't win with him at QB. I mean, he hit AP and he hit Salt for touchdowns. Yeah. So after Q came
scored more points than the Ravens.
So what does that mean? Can you explain that? What do you mean by that?
Like he put up 25 points for a first time QBing. I think.
Okay. Okay. No, I didn't know. I guess we're grading on a scale.
Yeah. Well.
It's curved. So the actual curve is 88.
I thought for
okay.
what I seen, I thought he did very well. He just hasn't QB'd, I think, with a little, but you know, I'm always the nice guy, so I think everybody with a little training and experience can do decent.
That's fair.
Right.
What's the original QB's name? I'm sorry for not knowing.
He's been playing receivers.
He's been playing receiver. That's why I wanted to give him a shout out for. Lost his job.
Oh God!
But I saw him. He was at Giver, I think, at one point in this game. He plays receiver for this team, so shout out to him for.
Very thoughtful of you to mention that. That's good. I didn't even know who was who on the team.
Shaheen.
Okay.
If you can see the picture, Kenny, it's the guy. He has the gray beard right next to, right in the middle of the picture. That's the original QB.
Well, the issue there was initially, I think, I don't think he was calling plays. You can't wing it in this league.
Okay.
So, then Jubair came in, had a good game, then struggled the next game, but he wasn't here. So I don't know what they're doing. So that's up in the air. Adam seems like he's not worried about any of these two teams here.
I says, wait, what's happening?
Yeah, but Lights Out seemed to have figured something out.
They did their thing. I think a more interesting discussion, not to slight their game, but is when the QB. When do you replace a QB? I was actually thinking about that during some of these games. Like when would you actually replace a QB?
You got to have one to replace him.
Oh yeah, that's true. I think part of it is I don't like to kill QBs that much because it's the very easy default people have after games losses. Oh, it's the quarterback. We didn't score enough points. They didn't call the right plays. But what we're asking QBs to do is orders of magnitude harder than any other position on the field, especially with no practice. Like receivers, defenders. Okay, you run this route as a receiver. Yeah. You defend this area, this person. Mm-hmm. We're asking a QB to call the play, to remember 5 different routes, to make the right decision, make a good throw, and do that dozens of times. So I'm like, that's why I'm hesitant to kill QBs. Only 2 instances really where I'm like, you have to get rid of a QB. I can't. Is A, they're inaccurate, they're scattershot, or B,
scattershot.
Yes. Mm-hmm. They routinely make stupid decisions. Then you have to get rid of them. You can't win with a QB that does 1 or 2 of those, or especially both. I think they have that issue here. There's only really a notable exception where you can kind of, even if your QB is missing 1, if you have an elite athlete at the position, like I'll give you an example of an actual player in the league. Although I'm not sliding, I'm actually complimenting when I mention him here. Like when Yasir was QBing for another team in another league, and he was like 80% of their offense. He's got a good enough arm.
He was
not the best thrower, but because he's such a good runner, you can get away with him at quarterback. Although against the best teams, you're not going to win just because, like, all right, we're going to figure out a way to stop you, and you're going to have to throw the ball at some point. But that's really the only exception where you can have someone who's like, all right, this guy isn't particularly accurate, or doesn't. I'm not saying he didn't make bad decisions. He was okay there, but like if you have a QB that's inaccurate and or makes bad decisions, like you just can't win. That's why when I was watching this team, I was like, he's missing too many throws to give them a chance. I didn't know he was a first-time QB, in fairness, so maybe you pull back off some of the criticism.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yes, I was immediately like, just watching on the field, like, there's no way they can win with this guy at QB. Someone else has to do it. That's why I was like, all right, when I was watching the film after, because I didn't see the whole game at the field, I started watching the film when it came out. I was like, oh, they switched the Q. That makes sense to see, like, maybe he can do something. He had a couple good plays and threw the pick, and they brought him back in. To his credit, once he came back in, he threw a touchdown. But they got to solve that QB problem. Are they going to be gone? It's going to be them or PTSD gone.
Dang.
PTSD throwing shots at them again. But,
real quick.
Real
quick. Lights Out. Are they good Are they bad? Like it just feels like they're just there, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you get what I'm saying, like we really haven't
50-50.
talked about them in like
Mhm.
past years, past even winter season. They went to our finals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Went to our Does this team feel like that?
I don't
No.
think so. I think they're missing a lot of their talented. Or I shouldn't say that. They're missing some of their top guys.
Yeah.
Right? And I think they get too easily defeated. You could tell when they're not into it. So we'll see. I don't expect them to do that.
Mm.
Say that again. I didn't hear that part.
The
I
man
said I
said
don't
he
expect
don't
them to do
expect them to be there.
what?
You heard him. You heard him. You like starting trouble.
No, I just had to make sure I heard what I thought I heard. But what's your real quick thoughts on Lights Out?
My
It's
thoughts
just
on Lights
we haven't
Out.
really talked about them positive, but not too negative.
I think this season was a shocker for them.
Mm-hmm.
The division is much better than they've been used to.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. That's fair.
But in their credit, they were ascending upward from being probably, you're like, oh, at some point you were like, are they even going to get a win this season? And now they're figuring little things out to be a mid pack team. Can they beat somebody in the playoffs? Depends on who. Depends on who they play.
I'd like to see Rowett run more. I don't think he does enough of that. I think he ran for a touchdown in this one, right?
Yeah, he had a big team.
That's I say that every time I watch. Like, there's plays you should just take off.
Yeah. But we talk about the 4 teams up at the top, and they're not in those 4. So that's that.
Are they number 5?
Are they number 5?
That's like Adam. Who's better, Lights Out or Thunder?
If they're clicking on all cylinders, I think Thunder. And I don't think it's particularly close.
Mm.
I still believe in the top. I still believe in the top end talent of the Thunder.
All right, so let's go a step further.
If
We
you have
already
Gray,
did the
Andy,
first
Curtis,
4.
JG.
We did the first 4. Give me your next 5 power ranking. If you could go against screen, they can see all the teams, Rob. So that way we can keep it moving. Also, not standing, but your power rankings.
Yeah. Okay, I would go. Bengals, Thunder, Hunters, Lights Out, PTSD. That's what I got. I think the Bengals are the best out of that bunch. Actually, I'll say this: if Dre is the QB and he's got his guys on Thunder, I actually think they're probably the 5 seed.
Mm.
Right? Because you got Ahud, JG, Curtis. Like that's a pretty good trio, Andy. That's 4 solid guys who could run and catch, right? Like, and with Dre throwing, he's a threat on the ground. Like, I'm not even trying to be a homer. Like, that feels like a good enough team to be the 5 seed, right?
No,
like,
you didn't say nothing off base.
Out of pocket, right? Like maybe the Bengals. I think it's like a toss up between them and then the other 3. If the Hunters had a QB, I think they'd be probably the 5 seed or even the 4 seed. AP and Q are just lethal, but they don't have anyone throwing the ball right now.
I would swap PTSD for the Hunters, and that's because of the big arm.
Right. I think Chick is a good QB though. By the way, it seems like they haven't figured it out, and they've let up the most points. Yeah, they have the worst defense. That's not going to win you much games.
But the guys, PTSD also has capable receivers. I know the wins aren't showing, but
yeah,
they're capable. They're very capable.
It feels like they've been improving.
Aaron, they're Adil. They're very capable receivers. I forgot the other guy's name.
Yeah.
So, all right, I ain't mad at that. E, you had the same list, Kenny.
I think it's pretty close. I'd have to think hard about like putting who at the bottom, but
I'm gonna say we're talking about full strength, best game, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One best game. Bengals. Lights Out, Thunder. I guess PTSD hunters. I guess, but
But you could
really
toss those two up.
Let's
Flip a coin.
Let's flip a coin. Let's flip a coin.
Hey, you just got to prove them wrong, guys. All right. Kenny, what was your dilemma in there? Was the bottom PTSD and hunters?
I think I would probably who's. It had to be one of those two at the bottom. Like, would I rearrange this? Like, no. Who would I trust more? I think for now I'd have to put PTSD over the hunters just because hunters have a huge question mark at QB. It's like you don't know who's gonna play, so that's just like that brings down your capability rating significantly. We don't even know who's at the helm. So
the more that I think about it, I think Thunder are actually the most disappointing team in this division.
That's fair,
right?
That's
He's
fair.
the Purple Rain QB. The Thunder are the most disappointing team in this division.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even, they got Dre QB. Like,
well, if you're hitting Jimmy in the numbers, and
78's got to catch the ball or just stop the run.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it don't matter who the QB is if you're dropping the ball.
Yeah.
So
listen, that's why they're disappointing.
It takes a while after losing, your captain and arguably.
That is a good point. We also forget that Phil is on PTSD.
Yeah, that's why I was like, all right, I have to factor that in. So.
All right, let's move on to D2. All right.
It's pregame check.
Ball up top, Gladiators.
Let's get right. Good call, bad call to go for 2 points, down by 1. Playoff game
with our overtime rules.
Let's get to
it. With the playoff, I go. You know what though? Let's just give the whole synopsis, right? You have Shane, you have Ned, you have O'Neal. Those guys, O'Neal's been playing good ball, just for the record.
Yes.
You have all these guys. Do you want to go into a playoff against them where it's 4 downs, and possibly shot? No. Would you want to see them in an overtime?
Yeah, you ask everybody, not just me, right?
Everybody,
I didn't know the overtime.
Take my question and put it into a question.
Yes, but I'm just giving the whole scenario because you're asking, do we go for 1 there to tie the game to go into overtime, or do we go for 2?
Sure. Yes.
I personally am not a gambling man. I go for 1. I go for 1. I think 1 from the 1 yard, 1 from up there is a sure thing.
Yeah. I'll give my opinion. I think I'm on the winning end of the most famous 2-point conversion this league throughout its history has, right? Against Cobra Kai back in the day. I don't know if you guys remember that play. But it's the one where Justin throws it over the top to Curtis, but we were like really bad. But anyway, I think it's the right call if you have a play that has worked for you in the red zone time and time again. If you have that go-to, even if you missed it, like I would have done that. The reason I say that is because the play that we won back in the day on was the one that really like kickstarted our season. Like we were really bad for the first like 6-7 games, and we started picking it up towards the end, and that was one of our plays. Gotcha. So if they had something that they went to and it worked and they were confident in it, I do think it was the right call. If they made up something on the spot or they tried something new or they didn't know 50-50, then I think it's the wrong call.
That guy over here can answer that question. Kenny?
We got a man from the game.
Let me set the table first, right? First, was it a unanimous decision to go for it? Or was somebody not in favor of the guy?
There was really, we'll give credit. James wanted to go for 2. I didn't care either way. I was like, I don't personally care which one I was in. And then there were a lot of people like, no, I'll go for 1. And there were so many things happening at the time. It's like the penalty happened during the place that changed some of the math. But it's like, do we trust people to go for 2? What are we trying to do here? Although we really shouldn't have even been in that position in the first place. But no, it was not unanimous.
And
was it a play that you guys like relied on, the one that worked for you guys, or did it feel like a good play?
There was definitely
That's a no.
it was not a play we relied on. What I even say it's a play we run? I guess we run, but there was a lot of confusion in the huddle about what to do. It was led to a timeout.
I'm trying to remember what I seen. Was this the ISO James on the right, other 4 on the left? That's what this was. Yes, it had to be because it's
he's trying to forget it, Rob.
Okay, no, because I'm thinking about I'm thinking about both this game and the D1 game.
Yes, no, but this James isn't on the D1 team, so it was ISO James on the right
this weekend. I don't remember the specific play. That's my
yeah. It was. Now that I know the division, it was James was isolated on the right side of the field, and all the other receivers was on the other side.
He went from right to left.
Yes, he went from your right to left offensively.
You have one of the opponents chimed in just now. Look at that.
Okay, like 3 times.
They ran the same play.
I don't know if we ran that same play. We ran a number of plays. I mean, it didn't work. That's the important thing. It failed. So, and the throw itself was like, once I saw it, though, I was like, there's no way he can get this ball. Like, this isn't going to work.
Short
white dude coming across the
back, James. And I have a bunch of commentary and other things too. But that individual play. So there was a lot of discussion, like, should we go for 2? Should we go for 1? And then after the penalty, should we go for 2 and then go for 1?
With 88,
we weren't really collected, I would say, is a fair way. It's like, what do we do here? Yeah. And then
what do you think it's about? Yeah. What were you gonna say? I was gonna say, what do you think it is about this team, this organization right now, where they just don't seem to be getting over the hump? Because they're always one of the teams where I'm like, they have the talent, but it's like moments like this are part of your story now.
That's a very good question, Adam.
You're trying to get this man kicked off the team, Adam.
I think each game itself is a series of like, I can go to the Hofstra game, another league. That one was a combination of things. A horrendous ref call. That didn't cost us the game, but the first touchdown I should have had deep. And we talked about this, Rob, on the field. Like, I specifically put my foot inside of the pylon and kicked it out. So there's no question it was inside the pylon. And then he said, like, well, the way we set it up, the pylon itself is an actual boundary. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, it was the boundary. The pylon was outside of the boundary where it was.
Yeah, but then okay, we're going back in time. But yeah, I put it there as a mark. Yeah. That hurt.
Either way, the pylon would be out if you landed on it.
Okay.
If you touch the pylon,
you help to know that before the play.
Yeah.
But and then there were other things in that game. There was a play that we should have stopped. I'm going back in time now. I would say each championship appearance, there were a series of plays where we didn't play well. And I wouldn't even call it choke per se. There was some of that. It's
just talk, Kenny. Just let it all out.
This
is a safe space.
I can diagnose every game why we lost in specific plays. Like the snow game, that was like I maintain if we play that on.
Why did you lose this game?
We lost. Oh, there's multiple reasons why.
Why did you lose this game? That's what we're talking about.
Let's see. A couple of things actually. Defensively, there were times where we should have gotten stops and we let them get extra yards. This is the whole lane integrity thing and wrapping up. I can go on a spiel on that actually. After that, I'll talk about that more. Contact, not playing through contact. I killed on both sides of this. Like my fingerprints are all over this game, both offensively and defensively. There were throws we missed that like the last interception that Ned got. If that's an on-target throw, at minimum it's a big gain. It's probably a touchdown. We're not even having this discussion. That's a play, but that in and of itself didn't cost us the game. There's other things like people drop passes that should have been caught. They're a good team. Like I said, like they're a team that could beat anyone. They're a good team to beat anyone. What else is there? Why we lost? And and this goes, no, I should actually make this general point because it's all right. There's something I wrote down here. Playing through contact. This is another game within a game thing. A lot of people, and I'm not saying my teammates per se, but just in general, because I wrote this down when watching, a lot of people are not comfortable with contact. It's a non-contact league, but we're not playing badminton, so there's going to be inadvertent contact. Exactly. Like you're going to feel a shoulder, someone's torso as an offensive, defensive player. You have to get used to the idea that, all right, there's going to be some contact and I have to be able to play through it. As a receiver, you have to be able to run routes. And if there's a defender on you, you cannot let his or her presence deter you from taking the right trajectory to the ball and hanging your QB out to dry. I see this every week. Like people are like, they won't run the way they need to run because there's a subtle, I don't know if I call it fear or trepidation of contact. I can watch him like, all right, this guy should have ran, even if maybe you catch it, maybe, and yes, that too. And a lot of players just aren't used to playing through contact. That's something that hurts. Or being aggressive, both offensively or defensively, where there's for lack of a better, I can come up with a better word. There's a softness to people that hurts both ways. Like I got on, not to say he's soft, but oh yeah, that's a good call. Add that to the compilation. There are plays where I lose my mind as a defender when people don't attack the ball. That's like another macro point here. Like my mindset, no matter what it is, if we're talking about a game, not even football, anything, competition, business, career, whatever, you're just better off being aggressive and attacking. There's not enough of that the way their mindset is. Yeah. People are very passive. I'm not talking about my teammates per se. I'm just saying players in general. Like for one example, there was a play, I don't know if it was the third, it's like at the 7-minute mark, 8-minute mark, where Shane threw a pass and he usually throws lasers. He kind of lobbed this pass to one of their players. And instead of going for the ball, and this is a common thing, one of our guys just immediately went for the guy's flag. And I'm livid. I'm like, go for the ball. That's my mentality is if you throw it anywhere near me and it's not a good throw, I'm going for the ball first, unless there's a reason not to go for the ball. There's so many good things that happen if you pause, go for the ball. Either you can deflect it, someone else can get it, you can pick it off, and just the actual act of doing something to break a receiver's concentration, their chances of catching the ball are going to plummet. Just being in their vicinity. So it drove me insane. Like, and you never know if you go for the ball and you get a pick there, that's huge. Yeah. We're in the red zone and we might score again. Just in general, there's so much good. Like you can still attack the ball without being risky. Like sometimes if I see the ball is in the air and like, all right, I can't make a clean play as an interception, I will put one of my arms around or near the defender and use my other arm to make a play on the ball to deflect it. Just the actual act of being in their sphere, personal their area is going to lead to a lot of drops because anything that breaks concentration, you either get in the line of sight or something like that. That's useful. Yeah. That helps. And that's my mentality in terms of like both as a receiver and a defender. Like I'm like, if you trust to go for my flag when the ball's in the air, 95% of the time I'm still going to catch the ball as long as I can see it. Yeah. You have to attack the ball against me or anybody. Like really, it's a best practice. People don't do enough of that. I went on a little aside there, but
you good?
Yes. So it would help if we did more of that. Like a lot of people could do more of that. That hurt us at times. Like I said, some missed throws, but again, I don't kill QBs that much because again, we don't practice. So we're asking them to do a very difficult thing to throw regularly. If QBs can hit like 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 5 throws, I'm not going to throw them under the bus. It's like, I don't expect perfection. So I'm not going to be like, oh, you missed this throw. I was like, no, like you missed it. I mean, it didn't help at times, but I would say that's one reason why. And Ned had a great game. A lot of the guys had great games. Like there's at least the first score they had was the first one or the second one. He broke for like 40 yards.
Yeah.
Because we didn't wrap up. And that's where being comfortable with contact comes in. I do this all the time. This is actually what me and him were talking about.
I saw it and I laughed it up. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, yo, you just hit me. I was like, yeah, you do it too. I was like, you know what? You're right. I do that. I do step in front of people and force them to try to run me over. So I'm like, all right, that's cool. I wasn't even mad. I was like, same thing. No worries, guy. And like, if you just, no matter who it is, if you just plant yourself in their way and force them to make a move on you, you're just going to be that much better defensively. Same thing offensively. Like, if I see someone just stand in front of me, I'm going to try to put a move on them. Sometimes I just run into them for intimidation purposes. I want them to feel what it's like if I run at you full force, and I want you to think and make business decisions about whether or not you want to do it again.
That you're going to run it?
Yes. I do that. I do it on purpose sometimes. I'm like,
I've made a living
off
of acting like I was going to run people over. I never run you over, but you're going to think you're going to get run over. And most people do fold to that game of chicken.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you spin off, or they brace and then don't pull your flag.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Things like that. Like, people have to be comfortable with playing through contact and be aggressive. Like, if you're more aggressive, just good things happen. So I mean, I went into some macro points. Didn't necessarily talk about our game.
Kenny, we gotta let you get it out. You've had a tough week.
Let's get to the game a little bit. Let's talk about and I need all three of you guys' opinion on this, because I thought it was crazy, and I'm going to tell you what it is. Game is tied at 20, I believe. Wall up top scores. No, they're down 20-19. They score
and go for
it's
two.
Now 25-20, and you go for two. You don't do it's what won them the game, because you got it, but you always have to make the other team have to score the extra point to beat you.
They feel like they have Shane and Ned, they can get it. That's confidence. I can't knock that.
Yeah.
They feel they have the personnel to be able to make those plays. And if too much coverage goes to Ned,
general rule,
somebody else is open, and the other guys are going to do it.
Okay. Maybe it's not as crazy as I thought it was. Then.
It's not that it's not that it's crazy, but
you're up by 5. Do you go for
how much time was on the clock?
Well, that's when Gladiators came down and scored to make it 26. They were down 27-20, so the game possibly would have been tied. But if they didn't get the 2, Gladiators win on just the touchdown without needing the extra point.
So then it sounds like it was the right damn decision, because Gladiators went down to score.
We're talking hindsight, of course. I'm talking about while watching the game, while reffing it. You
thought it was crazy.
It was
you
risky.
Go for one. You're saying you go for one, so the Gladiators score, and it's and stop. You can stop the extra point.
Yes.
I see your point. I see it. Do I go for 2? Probably not, but I'm not a gambling man. But they had more confidence and it depends. It depends on how the game's been going and what do you think you're like, yeah, these guys can't stop us here. 15 yards, they can't. You might have the confidence in one,
but the probability is higher. That's just a play from the 5 is much easier than a play from the 15.
O'Neal said, "Who said we would have got the 1?"
That's what I touched on. Yeah.
Of a 15, that's even worse now that I think about it. I thought it was from like a 10.
No,
15. That's really risky. But again, it's a confidence thing. If they think they can do it,
well, shit, they got it right.
They didn't get it.
I mean, if they happen to get it, we're not killing them. If they didn't get it, they may have lost the game. But
so I have a little.
Let's get Adam. He's been quiet for a while.
I think you go for 2 if you have the play that works. If you rely on it and you know how to make it work, I think you go for it. And it worked out for them. Look, it is literally what won them the game.
So, Gladiators. Y'all have been knocking on the door and have been coming up short, and I feel like it's self-inflicted wounds.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes you just have to play and not look for outside reasoning for things not working.
That's a fair point. I don't do that, but I can see why you say some people might do that. So
you just have to play. Calls. There's going to be some contact. You're going to get some. The opposing team's going to get some. And in the end, it's going to come down to you winning playing football. No matter what people think that's going to cost the game or cost the game, at the end of the day, you're going to win or lose playing football.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the end of the game scenario with going for 2, going for 1. Personally, I probably go for the 1 because it's win or go home, so you can't risk it.
Yeah.
Right?
Regular season 2.
Regular season,
Playoffs 1.
because it may not matter in the grand scheme of things, but in the playoffs, when you lose, if you don't get it and you're going home, you go for the safest bet to continue your season. The play I didn't particularly like. If you're going to ISO a guy, right? I have been a player that have been ISO'd to close games and stuff like that. I'm not going across the field. I'm going to cook this one-on-one defender right here and be open. You understand what I'm saying? If you're going to ISO a guy, so the intent was to put everybody on the left, clear, bring him across. That's a waste of time. That takes too long. To be honest with you, it takes too long. We don't have the time.
Yeah, I don't know. That was just one option in the play. I think there were multiple options, but I get what you're saying.
But it looked to me, if you're ISOing him over there, you're featuring him on this play. Anytime I've been ISO'd, the QB will go, what you're running, I just go, you'll know when to throw it.
That's fair.
So if you're going to ISO him, that means you trust him one-on-one with anybody. He has to go up there, dig, cut back, something, get open. Nobody else come muddy it up. And if that's not the guy, that's the route runner, he shouldn't be the guy ISO. ISO should be the guy that you think is gonna get open. He's gonna cook this guy. So that's Dylan here. That's what it is. So I didn't particularly like the play, and it didn't look like everybody cleared either, because it seemed like he had to throw it over, and that kind of lifted the pass a little further. As O'Neal said in the chat, 88, which is Umir, who's been cooking on that front cone the whole time. Maybe you got to show a different look there. I don't know. Maybe he has to come screaming across the front where he wasn't doing that all game. They're not going to expect that. Pump, there he goes. I don't know, but you gotta switch it up. But like you said, it didn't sound like y'all had a go-to play. Adam said he would have only did it if they had a go-to play. I kind of agree with that. Or you have a guy that you can trust one-on-one against anybody, because it looked like the guy that was on James followed him all the way across the field, which means it was a man.
Oh yeah, it was definitely man. That's why, like, you didn't allow motion. So what I did subtly was,
if it was a man,
yeah,
you do not, you trust, you go to your guy that you trust one-on-one on the outside. And it's hard to cover a guy in half a field space. Keep everybody else on the other side. When it breaks down and that guy doesn't get open, that's when everybody else you turn into a scramble drill and try to make something happen. But anyway, yeah, but you guys got to win the games playing football. Let's go ahead.
But controversial, but maybe not. If he's there that week, and let's just say the game plays out the same way, is that play run for Nate?
Is that play run for Nate? Nate's a vertical receiver to me. So in a 10-yard space, I don't think you run it to Nate. You run it to a Kenny, you run it to a James, a shiftier mover. I got Nate as a vertical guy. So if you're throwing it to Nate, it's basically you're going to run Nate straight, and we're going to throw it up, Nate going to go up top and get it. He can do that.
Yes, he can.
But in that space, you don't necessarily have to ISO him for that. You can have another receiver on that side, and he can cut away. But in an ISO situation, what we had, Nate's going to take a lob. Kenny, you can run Kenny on the lob. He can stutter go in. He can stutter go out. He can take a step and go whichever direction he beats the guy in. Pause. Away from, whatever. So
I know what you mean, though.
Yeah, you got me.
The play. That's an offensive failing. That's for all of us. Like we have to come up with a better play at those times. So can't blame one person for that. But yeah,
and we've been harping on you guys, losing team, but ball up top has been ascending as of late. They've positioned themselves in the playoffs. The last 2 games, they've won 3 straight coming up to this playoff game. So Shane has been the QB that the ball up top has needed to become successful. And now you're seeing them reap the benefit of getting full value out of Ned, because Ned, now that he's kind of making Ned's day easier. Like he's literally taking anything. He gets deep, it's there. He could, so O'Neal, impeccable flag grabber. That's one thing I noticed on video. He doesn't miss flags. He's position wise, he knows what he's doing, plays very well. Lane integrity, as whatchamacallit talks about. To allude to that, that lane integrity stuff is just like when you're on a kickoff. If you watch the kickoff in the NFL, there's a reason why they all run straight in that line. And if you don't always have to attack, especially speedy guys, you kind of corral them. You don't have to attack them. You just cut off a lane, make him have to stay a horizontal, make him cut across instead of getting vertical. So that's basically what Kenny's been talking about. Disappointing. I'm disappointed in the Gladiators.
That's the word.
I am. And no knock on ball up top, because like I said, I have no dog in the fight. I root for everybody, but I'm disappointed because this was a winnable game.
It's very winnable.
This was a winnable game, and you just continuously seem to come up short in these moments that matter. So it's just disappointing. Like I said, sometimes it's outside just play the football game.
Yeah.
And then when it comes down to the end of the game, don't fold or don't start to unravel and let it leak out to like everything else is the reasoning behind the unraveling. No, the unraveling is happening on the field.
Yeah.
It's nothing else. There's no external reason. It's the internal reason.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. But I'm disappointed because you guys this is a winnable. This was
very winnable game.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Adam. Sorry, we both went off on a little tangent, got you sitting there. But that's what it is, Adam. Sometimes internally, it was your question that got us going all the way through there.
Yeah.
But internally, when the going gets tough, the Gladiators got going. That's basically what they run. Right. It's like that's basically what it is. I don't know why, because they could have just continued to do what you've been doing. But every time the game gets to that juncture where it's like, oh shit, it's slipping away from us. It's the outside noise that's causing it. No, it's not. It's not. It's the football that's causing it. So just buckle down and do what you got to do. Like it's. I was disappointed. I was disappointed, but I'm very happy for ball up top because those guys have been working hard to get to this point.
Good for them.
Yeah. They've been working very hard to get to this point, and they have won a playoff game. Ball up top has won a playoff game.
Formerly known as Garbage Man.
Formerly known as Garbage Man.
Yeah.
They have won a playoff game. They are ascending to where they feel they should be, and especially with the talent they have, maybe where they should be. So, shout out to them. Let's move on. We done spent tonight, and we're gonna end up back on the Gladiators again in later on the show. Goodfellas All Stars. No sheep.
I'll give a round of applause to Merce in this game. And
Mercer's been playing good.
I asked him when did he find out he's going to play B quarterback. He said that morning.
Wow.
So to find that out, and the score looks like they lost by 2, but it was a close game. It's Adam who played in this game, right?
If you watched,
right. Huh? Now, Adam played in this game, so I'll let him talk.
You didn't play Adam?
No, I did. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, I was really impressed with Mers.
Yeah.
No sheep, so that's not really the team that we played last time, and we only won by 1. So they played a good game. They were missing Simon too, so they were missing some key contributors, and we started slow, and they kept it pretty tight, and then in the second half, I think we just started getting our things going, and but they played well, and I'm happy for them. But when we're clicking on all cylinders, I think we're one of the more talented teams in this division. We just got to make sure we're doing that, and our guys are there.
Definitely.
It's gonna be key for your team.
This, if you've watched the video, Fabi was putting on a clinic, guys.
Yeah.
Fabi, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Dre wasn't doing his thing too.
Yeah.
But Fabi was putting on a clinic. If you had Fabi in fantasy that day, he single-handedly won your game.
Yeah.
He was, and not a lot of guys can get Fabi to talk trash.
Yeah.
When Fabi's talking back to you, so listen. These guys were going at it, and you see Dre come back, say something to Fabi. Fabi go down the other way, catch something, route him up. This was a matchup to watch. We're watching Fabi develop in front of our eyes. From day one of seeing Fabi play to now, it's like, geez, Kenny. Well, you know what? E, go ahead. You let me. I've been talking too much. I played well.
I'm the host today. I'm the host. I got it, man.
Kenny,
I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, full credit to Merce for stepping out. I didn't know he stepped in on such short notice. I mean, he can throw, he can run. I would like to see him do more of that, but to not know that you're going to be quarterbacking for a playoff game till that morning is crazy. I don't know what's up with the All-Stars, but I mean, some of it is people not showing up, lack of communication. The defense too, just been getting shredded. It's just like week 5 where they just getting torched. I mean, the first play, Yash to Dre, that just summed up the All-Stars. First play is like, this is typical All-Stars for this season where they're just getting burned. I mean, they had some defensive plays too, did All-Stars. I know Steve had an INT. Some other plays on their end. It's just, I don't know. I mean, credit to Goodfellas too. I mean, Jeremy had some plays, Dre. Other guy, is it Aaron is his name?
Yeah. He wasn't there today.
Okay. No. The other little guy.
Yeah.
Mel. Okay.
No,
he had a good game too. Yash typical throws well.
To dive into the end zone.
Penalty. At least he learned. Can't do that.
He's messing with Adam.
Okay. But
Adam, did you see the play?
Yeah, it definitely wasn't a dive. we can talk about it. I don't want to. I know we're like going almost 2 hours now, so I don't want to drag it. But
yeah,
I don't.
What we'll do, post it on IG, Rob, and we'll put up the.
I'll post it on IG. We'll see whether it's diving or not. All right.
Yeah, Goodfellas had a number of guys that had some good games there. Yeah, Anthony too. He shot himself in the comments. He had a nice extra point catch, all hands for the Goodfellas. I mean, I kind of expected Goodfellas to win this one, so I wasn't too surprised. No.
You spoke about the defense. The All-Stars aren't the fastest team.
Yeah.
That's going to hurt you on defense. They're not the fastest team. You got Mel, who's super fast. Dre's actually pretty fast. They got some speedy guys here on the Goodfellas. That's basically going to hurt you on defense. If your guys aren't quick, I don't know if the word's footed, whatever you want to say, but that's what the problem is. And the speedier guys are some of the guys that are out this season. So, that's basically what's going to hurt the defense. Now, Goodfellas, y'all just got to show up. Like that's been the Achilles heel of y'all this season, not being able to field the guys.
Well, let me ask a question, and the same question will hold true to Purple Rain, which we're going to talk about, I guess, next. Is less more? Because
with who?
Just in general, attendance with certain teams. But the knock on this Goodfellas, I said it from week 1, and I get, of course, you want Yasir and Aaron there, of course, but is the team too deep, and now playoff time where guys, and I'm not saying they do have selfish guys. I'm not. I'm just talking about as a football player, you want to be the reason why your team advances in the playoffs, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So them having less guys, still putting up 43, very impressive. Now everybody has to go back to taking that back seat because let's call it what it is. They're two best. Well, Dre is probably the best one, but Yasir and Aaron probably the next 2 and 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
So guys who made plays here and showed I can play now get relegated to lesser roles and or the bench. How does that work for this team?
Well, you're talking.
Like I said, it's going to be the same thing we're going to talk about with Purple Rain because
you're talking about championship here, right? You're talking about playoffs. You're talking about winning. None of that shit matters. So anybody who has that problem, they got to sit, bro. Like it doesn't even matter. I don't care who you are. You can't when it's winning time. It's about winning.
More so ego. It's more quick hooks. You get what I mean? Drop. You come out like what is no? I got give me a chance. You know what I mean? Like I'm talking about things like that.
Well, that's on management.
If Adam drops a pass, you don't have the depth on the team, so Adam gets a chance to redeem himself as opposed to a quick hook. Having all the guys there now, how does Adam, who does drop?
You trying to say Adam drops the ball? You heard that?
I haven't dropped the pass.
You see that, Adam? You see what he's trying to do?
I didn't say that. I'm just talking about in terms of the teams. A general statement. How does it want? I get it. I know. I'm talking about in general. That's why I mentioned Purple Rain.
Well, you know Anthony Lewis needs his touches, but he ain't on the team. That he on IR.
Anthony Lewis doesn't play, though. He's pretending to be hurt. Yeah, he's set up. He's pretending he's injured.
But do you guys understand the point that I'm like? Now it is that time.
I normally would, but what I'll say is this: we played a depleted All-Stars team.
Mm-hmm.
So like, even though we were missing people, they were also missing people, and they were. I would say they were missing their QB, and that's obviously the most important position.
Sure.
I think Yasir is probably the most underrated player in the league. Everyone knows he's really good, but he's the best player on our team, in my opinion. So missing him doesn't help. I think missing Aaron does not help. So I don't know. I think we played a weaker All-Stars team because they were depleted. So I think the less and less sort of like evened out.
I don't think the Goodfellas are going to have that problem. That's all I'm going to say. I don't think the Goodfellas are going to have that problem because they're a veteran bunch, and it'll only show up if they're in a close game. And that's the only time it would show up. And that's just an observation I've made that and it'll show up from specific people. I'm not gonna get into that.
No. We're gonna do this right. Adam, game tied, 20 up. You have the ball, 1 minute to go. Who's the 6? Well, we know, who's the 5? There? Who's the 5? The other 5.
Yasir, Aaron, Dre, Mel, and then I think you can put the 5th guy between me, Jerem, Anthony.
Anybody else, basically, you're saying?
Yeah.
Trying to put this man in problems on his team. Where are you trying to put this man in problems?
I just gave you the first. It's really those 4, right? Aaron, Yasir, Dre, Mel,
and the other ones.
I think even Mel might be not to insult Mel, but I think even between Mel, it's probably interchangeable at that point. Yasir, Aaron, Dre, they belong out there with Yash, and then I think the other 2 could be changed out.
All right. I agree. All right. Let's move on to. Oh, we did both games. Go
to the Purple Rain game because it's kind of like the same point.
Okay. Yes. Gladiators. Kenny. Every time we bring up a Gladiators game, you kind of sigh over there.
Well, today,
Adam. They had opportunity. In this game, I didn't think Purple Rain started this game slow. Gladiators started this game actually, I thought, pretty good. But then once it tightened up, like I said before, it started to be the outside noise is the reason.
Like coming up? Uh-oh. Dysfunction already, right before playoff game.
I don't know what Lou hasn't played all season. I don't know what he's talking about. I'm a trooper fellow. You're an injured fellow. He stole Jimmy's chair, by the way.
That's not good. That's
I
not
haven't
good.
seen him in 2 months, and he's taking people's shit. It's crazy.
Yeah. So then Lee stepped in as QB this game, right?
He did a really good job, and he can play. He does a lot of things well that people aren't aware of. He's one of my favorite previous teammates. Played on a team together a season and a half ago. He spins records outside of the field too. So if you need a DJ, get at him.
There you go.
No, hype him
so,
up.
So he started the game off throwing, I think, trying to get too much on offense, and then they went in and they regrouped, and he started kind of dink and dumping and running.
That's not what you say. That's not what you say.
He was taking what was given. You're right. You're right. He was taking what was given until he got what he wanted to take. Marcellus also. There were also some drops by good guys on this team, and then Marcellus came up big for them on a couple plays. He has two of their touchdowns.
Oh yeah, it's one of the most frustrating games I played in, actually. But,
one of the what?
This is one of the most frustrating games I've ever played, actually. But yeah, continue.
I can't
brought up his name. Yeah.
So this is where, I mean, like, the Gladiators were in position to win this game. And once it's like a boxer, you're ahead, you knock the guy down, he gets up, he dazes you a little bit, and they just don't know. It's like they don't know what to do when the next boxer gives them the best punch back. All you got to do is continue to do what you do. Nobody's a slouch. So they're gonna have a moment. Like, what do you think? They're just gonna lay down? No, they're probably gonna play harder. So you just have to be able to withstand that and continue to do what you do. Kenny, I'm just as frustrated as you are. So
are you?
I am. I am because of some. Okay,
all I'm just saying is you can't be losing to a team that's posing like that in their pictures. Look at that. Look what's going on there?
Look at that team.
Dude in the red is wearing a small, and he should be wearing a large. You got this guy kneeling. You got Al. Bro, come on, bro. Ken doesn't even have the right jersey on in that picture. You guys loosen up like that, bro.
And so there was a play in this game which shows moments of lapse in I'm not gonna call it IQ because I feel the guys on the team have the IQ, but it's just a lapse of just
in the game,
being in the game, and stop with all the outside shit. Play the football game you're in. Marcellus catches a ball, hits the floor, gets up and runs. Right? Everybody, as soon as he caught it, they were so defeated. And then it's, he's out of bounds. No, he's not. Just make the flag, grab the play, stop the play. What you guys doing? There's no whistle blown. Grab the play, and I happen to be reffing the game. I stand there and I'm like, what the fuck is everybody doing? And if you look at my face, I'm just waiting. He runs in, and I go, beep, touchdown. What is that? What is that?
Yeah.
And then they go, did you tag him? And then tag him.
Never.
It's just frustrating. Like if that play doesn't happen, you probably win the game. To be honest with you, if that play doesn't happen, you probably win the game. And even in all of that, it's still, he was out of bounds. Why are you even worried about that? Just stop the play.
Yeah.
None of that matters. But just this is disappointing. It's disappointing because the winnable game. Look at the score, Adam.
Oh my gosh!
Look at the score, 20-19, and you gave you. I can say they gave up a touchdown.
Yeah.
The other game was what? 20-20. What was the score at? 27.
27-26.
Yeah. Look, that's a cultural thing, bro. Trust me. I ran the Thunder, bro. That's arguably one of those losing teams in Lee history. It's a cultural thing.
And they get there. This Gladiators team gets there.
Right, because they're talented.
And then it's like when the moment is the biggest, it's like you try to find every other reason why
Do you remember a couple years ago when they tied with the Thunder when we were like the best team? They came back. This was in we're calling
You broke up a little bit.
it the other league, but we're calling it the other league. But this is when we had like Brian and Wakas, and like they came back from like 27-0 and they tied. You remember that? Remember that game? Remember how happy they were? They were acting like they won. Right? It was no, but the point I'm making is what I think it is that emotionally their highs they go really high, but then their lows they get really low.
Really low.
You can't treat a tie like a win, and you can't treat every failure like it's the end of the world. And what I'm hearing, you know what I mean? What I'm hearing is like they just implode.
I'm gonna have to write that one.
Yeah.
Adam, you done got one, Adam.
That's a good one.
You done got one, Adam.
Like right, we've seen them
Can't treat it. I gotta clip that.
be really good, but then they like ride it, and like that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to stay even, regardless of what's going on. So it seems like that's what's happening because you're clearly talented. You have a lot of good players. I'm looking at that picture.
They are.
Lamar, Curtis, Chris is good. Usman, right? Like, but it seems like you guys are just like
Talented, and I feel they like I've seen some of the game planning and the defensive game planning and the shit'll work.
Yeah.
I've seen the play calling and the shit'll work. So it's not that.
Yeah.
What and Kenny,
it seems
you're
like
here.
adversity is the killer here.
Yeah, it's like they just can't overcome. Pause. Jesus, Robert.
Well, that was.
But you got me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know what you're saying. I mean that one play was like again one of the most maddening plays I've ever seen. I was already mad that two people are guarding one guy and you let him get by him. It's like okay, but people aren't perfect on defense, so okay, that can happen. But when he catches the ball and he's on the floor, and I'm watching them look at him, like, "What are you doing? Go touch him!" Of course, he gets up after like 2 seconds.
Just touch him.
And one guy, and I have to call him out. Lamar often plays with a lack of effort. It's really maddening to watch. He can be better. I have to call him out. And
No.
Him, but like that
that's a fair point.
Yeah. But that's like
that is the knock on him though.
Yeah. That
you got to keep him engaged.
Yeah.
That hurt. But I mean, there was keeps doing it. The mic is fine. It's something with the system. There were a number of plays in that game that were frustrating. I mean, we got down. I can't remember what drive it was. I think I had some play that brought us down with like within the 5 or something. Someone else. They might have scored a couple times. Credit to him too. He played well. There was some play we had on like our first or second drive. We got down inside like the 5 on first down, and a guy and this is like a bad decision making. He throws it like a jump ball on second down. We got, like, in all fairness, like, if you're going to throw a jump, you don't have to throw a jump ball, but, like, know your personnel. Why would you throw the jump ball there? And things like that. Like, so we turn over there. At the halftime, I'm on video, like, screaming, like.
Throw you the jump ball.
Not halftime, right before halftime, we started driving. And in fairness, like, Hail Marys are low percentage no matter what. So, like, you're not expecting to convert them most of the time, but I'm like, I can't remember if I called this specifically for me or something, but I lined up so that like we're spread out some. And like as soon as the play goes, like, okay, good, it's 1-on-1. And I'm watching him load up. I'm like, I'm telling him throw the ball first of all, but like, and then I see him throw like, why would you throw it that way where there's like 6 people and their tallest defender who is a jump ball specialist in his own right? It's like plays like that just drive me insane. It's like at least throw. If we're gonna jump ball, I'm not over there. But like throw it the other way. Like it's 1-on-1 or maybe Curtis. Throw it to me. I'm like, if you can live with me not making the play, but like realistically, who on the field is most likely to make that play? It's gonna be me, especially not when Fabi's on the other side. Like, why would you throw it over there? I was so mad. Like it didn't cost us a game, but that's one play where we could steal a touchdown going to half. I'm like, you gotta think. Why would you throw it over there? I'm getting mad now just thinking about it.
Yeah. I mean, look,
it's just like little things like that cost you the game. I'm like, it's a low percentage play already, but it becomes like a 0.001% play if you throw it that way. Like throw it, we have a chance. I can make that play. Throw it that way. Things like that. It's just like,
It's all
we
right, Ken.
and
It's all right.
to his credit, he made.
All right,
I don't
Ken.
want to kill him either. He made some good throws that we dropped as well. Touchdown throws that should have been caught. That could have won us the game as well. So it's not.
Yeah.
I'm not blaming. Like there's a lot of blame to go around, but subtle things like that, especially both teams are shorthanded. They're missing a lot of their guys. Like we should have stomped these guys. In all fairness, it's like what
20-19.
They had players. I don't want to kill them and say they didn't have players, but like both teams are shorthanded. In all fairness, there's no one in the team that's going to be able to cover me. I covered. If you saw me one-on-one against Bobby, he didn't catch anything against me. So it's like we can beat them both ways. And it's just like so many. And the play where of course, in my mind, that's going to be a play I'm going to like replay in my nightmares for years. Like how you even people get beat, which is so like I'm not killing as much, even though there's no reason two people should get beat. But like then again, like this goes back to how people play defense. That he caught the ball and he's on the floor for several seconds and gets up. I'm like, this is why teams lose games. Like, why? Touch him. I mean,
They were defeated by the catch.
no, I don't think it was a catch. It's just they're just so used to not being physical and going after people that you just accept that if a guy's on the floor, the play's over. It's not over until you touch the guy.
The whistle has to blow. Play to the whistle.
I mean, I can go on. It's like I was so angry.
Yeah.
But I don't like to yell as much in games because then people get rattled and it becomes like a self-fulfilling thing. So I'm like, I'll contain my anger and I'll go yell on the sidelines to nobody in particular and I'll come back like nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, we should have beat these guys easy.
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 But you
And
did.
I'm not.
But you did it. And that's the story of the gladiators, right? Like, unfortunately,
Easy, man, easy. This is what.
yeah, I'm sure. That's what I've been told for a long time with this team. It's easy.
What's the story?
The story is everyone tells me how easy it is for the gladiators, and then this is what happens.
I mean, this one was like, I don't like to diminish my opponent, so you'll never hear me say like easy.
Well, those comments up, Rob. Don't disrespect Larry like that. Come on, he's talking to us.
I'm so angry.
Talk your shit, Larry.
He showed up
Talk
late.
your shit.
He showed up late, but still, like they're and Lee played well at quarterback, but there was so many self-inflicted mistakes that like.
Is Lee even their quarterback?
No, it's Dre.
Right.
Oh my gosh! Come on.
No. Like it's not like Lee can play too. That's why I want to be clear that Lee is a good quarterback, and
He is,
and he's got a lot of strength. It's just like we should have won that game. There's just so many plays if you watch. It's like
You broke. Yeah, we can't hear you.
That play. There's so many plays you could point to. So like, this is why we lose.
Adam is saying in so many words, you lost a playoff game to a backup QB.
So you're diminishing Lee there.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
They're just calling the facts. They're just calling the facts.
Well, that's true.
I'm not diminishing him, but he hasn't played the position all year long. He stepped into the biggest game and beat your team.
Damn, that makes that picture even worse.
All right, so Kenny, I got.
We know he's capable. He can play.
Yeah. All right, I got one question for you because we're up to 2 hours. So what do the Gladiators have to do to fix the late season loss woes, as I'm going to call it, or playoff losses, or lack inability to win the bigger game?
I mean, I think we do a good job getting going postseason run anyway, even as underdogs. So like we're doing something right to get to the title game. Except this thing, we didn't get to the title game. Some of it is, like you said, there are people who look for outside reasons, some boogeyman as to why losses happen. When it's like
boogeyman,
exactly. It's mostly. One, we're playing against good opponents. If you're playing late in the postseason, that suggests you're playing against a good opponent. People dropping passes has been in big spots has been a theme. It's like I get people drop passes, but like this, we need you not to drop it right now. like there's a big like
Right.
in the title game against the elites. We had a number of significant drops that hurt. Tree. Yeah.
Actually
Communication, that's something we talked about post game, is like sometimes we have non-healthy communication when things go wrong, which is key. Me, sometimes I blame myself. I'm not as aggressive in terms of like, don't throw me the ball. Like, I trust me to make the play. There are times that's happened where it's like it hurt, but that wasn't the situation this time. People knowing the situation is key too. Like, again, like that play where we threw an interception on second down inside the 10 is like, let's remember what we don't need to throw that ball. And if we're going to throw it, like give a real chance of completing it. Some is that, like, again, this is like the QB thing where we don't practice. QBs don't practice. So I'm hesitant to kill QBs that much because of the practicing. It's just like in spots, we got to know what to do. We got to give full effort. Again, if we gave full effort on that highlight reel or low light reel, whichever depends on which team you're on, play, it should have been okay, he gets behind you, but he shouldn't have scored. They should have had to still go and march down. What else is there? I think that's mostly it. The communication, knowing the situation, best guys in when we need them. It's most of it, I would say. Having plays that we can count on. That's all of our fault at times. Well, we have plays, but this is like there are times where we need to, like, all right, we need to play to run. What are we gonna do?
Who's the voice in the offensive huddle? Who calls the plays?
For this, for the D1 team, it's either Umair or Usman mostly.
And the D2 team?
Combination of Mike, James, sometimes Christian, Usman. I would say those four mostly.
Okay. Most teams that become great, there's one voice in that offensive huddle. One voice.
That's that. I don't know.
No,
in and of itself.
I have not been on.
I get what you're saying.
There's no winning team that I have been on that had multiple voices in the offensive huddle.
Those are sometimes plays. I wouldn't say it's an issue where you have too many. I don't know. That's politically incorrect.
Too much chefs in the kitchen.
Yeah, I was gonna use add the eye to it. It's not an instance where you have too many conflicting voices. There'll just be different times where people are calling plays, but it helps to have one solid voice. But I wouldn't say that's the reason why there's losses.
No,
like,
I'm not. I'm just saying.
I can point to each championship game and like, this is why we lost. This is why this is why we lost. Sometimes it's the same theme, different manifestations of what happened in said game.
But that's the reason why we can talk about.
We can talk about the Gladiators for long because we ain't got shit to talk about here. Just for the record.
Yeah, I was in a
There's nothing to talk about here. This was the shellacking.
This is horrible.
Yeah. A lot of missing guys for the Goodfellas, which we're gonna acknowledge that because the Goodfellas are a much better team than a 54-7 team with the game stopped with 18 minutes left on the clock. So this damn sure could have been a 75, 80 something, whatever, 70, however the math works out. So we're not even gonna brush on this. I'm very disappointed that the Goodfellas haven't been able to field the team that we know they are in this division, and they have set themselves up to have to play another game. And we're gonna move right on to that. Shout out to Caliphs who are just coming in, workmanship, taking care of business. Everybody contributing.
Whoa. AZ then. Put the team together.
Don't talk about Adam's captain like that. So let me wait. So we're gonna get to this week's games. Goodfellas versus Purple Rain.
Who wins, guys? We can't pick it up. Who wins?
Adam, who wins the game?
And why?
Assuming the Goodfellas are totally in attendance, I'm gonna go them. I think they have experience, and from what I've seen of Purple Rain in games that are tight, I think the Goodfellas have more composure. I think the Purple Rain, they talk a lot.
Less is
but
more.
that's
All right, Kenny.
Goodfellas.
Can I get a score?
Nah, I can't think that far ahead. I think they win. Well, it's huge assumptions. We don't know who shows up for which side.
Yeah.
I just think they win. I'm not comfortable saying like someone wins big because they're both talented teams, but you don't know. If Purple Rain shows up in few numbers like they did this week, it might be tough. So
yeah.
Okay.
And to take it a step further, I'm going to ask these two guys: does either one of these two teams beat the Caliphs twice?
No.
I actually think the
It's
team
kind of easy, Adam. You didn't even
had the
blink.
best chance
No.
would have been
Do
Gladiators.
does either team?
Stop that, Kenny.
No, it's true.
Sorry, that's true.
It's true.
Just got-
I'm not even officially.
Yo, you guys lost to the All-Stars in the last season. You can't even beat yourselves. You guys lost to yourselves.
I'm telling you, because we've beaten them before.
What? When you were sleeping in your dreams, right?
Nice. And our game against them was actually close again. And it's counterintuitive because I've actually picked against the Gladiators D1 every time when you've asked me. I'm on record. I was like, I don't think they'll win this game. I don't think they'll win this game.
But you think they had the best chance against?
They actually had, yes. I mean, most of it, I think it's some of that's defensively, and we have people that can actually step up when you give them the ball. You think it's crazy, but I don't think it's crazy at all. Objectively, I actually think they would have the best because Goodfellas doesn't really have. They get shredded a lot. They can score a lot, but you watch their games, there are a lot of shootouts. And Purple Rain is kind of like, I don't want to insult them by saying that. They have a defensive issue too, and as well as a too many guys issue as we've been talking about, which is why I can't see them beating. And who, like, I'm trying to think of who's on Purple Rain that would. I can't think of anyone.
I don't know them by name. I know they're talented. I just need to give us a little more composure. But I don't think either of these teams beat the Caliphs. I think the Caliphs D1 are in this similar position to Caliphs in D3.
Oh, nice. Good reference. Well, I mean,
we got the Spartans in D3, so I don't know.
Does any team push it to
All right.
the extra game being needed? Does either team beat the Caliphs one time at least to push it to?
I don't think so. I don't.
So Caliphs go undefeated and win the championship.
Caliphs go undefeated. Yeah, probably.
I think so. Yeah.
Unless there's like an attendance issue, right? I just don't see it.
Okay.
I just think they match up very well against both of those teams. Yeah.
All right, here you go. Kenny, Elites, ball up top. Adam, you don't have to answer the second one. We know where you're picking.
Ask him. You never know. Maybe he'll say
he's not picking against.
I'll give you my first game. I'm gonna go. I might actually go ball up top on this one. They showed something, right? Like this past week. I think they're coming into their own and they're very talented. I'm drawing a blank on the entire the Elite D2 roster, so let me know if I'm like thinking of somebody that isn't
Squirrel there. Will.
Oh, okay. That changes things a little bit.
I just gonna.
Who's their QB? Who's throwing for them?
Anas.
Okay, I'm gonna change my pick. I'm gonna go Elites. I'm gonna go Elites. I didn't realize they had Squirrel and Will. Assuming they're both there, I think that cancels out a couple of their guys. And then I'm gonna go Goodfellas D2. I'm assuming we're fully stacked in the roster. I didn't think that was the case the last time we played League Pass. Who was very talented.
League Pass is no slouch.
Yeah, they're good.
Kenny, what do you have? What was yours?
First, I just remembered I gotta give a compliment to both to Neil and Anas for how good they were with recording and commenting. Watching.
Oh yeah, those guys were impeccable.
Yeah, excellent.
Oz also did pretty good in his game.
That's what I was gonna say. There was a third voice I couldn't tell who that was.
Goodfellas All-Stars game.
Yeah, Oz was really good in that one.
Okay, well, yeah, back on topic. I think Elites win that one. I just think they're. I can't see. I think ball up top has a defensive problem. So, against them, they have a good offense, but like ball up top hasn't really been shutting people down. Well, actually, no, they kind of beat up on the All-Stars last week, but I just think Elites to find a way to win that game, as long as they don't self-combust. So I think Elites win that first game.
League Pass, Goodfellas.
League Pass, I think, wins the second game.
Wow.
I think it's, and then both teams are really talented. I just think League Pass plays better defense than Goodfellas do, which I think is going to make a difference. And both teams have good QBs. And League Pass has a lot of Goodfellas has a lot of good talent too. They both have a lot of good. I just trust League Pass to win that game more.
Yeah. All right. And we're here, these games aren't as they're meaningful, but not as meaningful. Spartans Hunters.
Spartans.
Same.
No
Thunder Bengals. Ooh, Adam, this one's dear to your heart.
Who's throwing for Thunder?
I would assume. Well, you can pick with both. We got Andy or Dre. We'll give you a. You'll pick. Andy's throwing.
I still might go Thunder.
So Dre's throwing. So you'd go Thunder.
I'll go Thunder if Dre's throwing, and I'll say Andy if he's throwing. Probably not. And they need to. And I'm okay. This is gonna sound really mean. They gotta stop throwing to Jimmy. Unless he catches the ball. These are drive killers. Yeah. Like, yo, let's be real. Right? Like, these are drive killers.
Throwing to who did you say throwing to?
Throwing to Jimmy.
Oh man, you just calling him out left and right.
Well, listen, Adam can do it because that's his guy. Yeah. You know, we don't kill Jimmy.
That's fair. That's good.
You got to catch the ball though.
He does.
You got to catch the ball. Kenny,
agree to drop in the end zone.
Yeah. Kenny, Thunder Bengals.
We didn't do the last one. Ravens lights out.
I got Ravens.
Ravens.
Okay. All right, guys, listen, we've been on here about 2 hours, 17 minutes. It is time to go. We got to be out there early in the morning tomorrow. I don't know if you guys have games that early, but I got to be there. And so does E.
Kenny, what time's your game?
I don't have an early game.
Dang, E, that's messed up.
I know.
Oh, my bad.
That's dumb.
He didn't realize it. That's fine. That was
He realized.
We've been talking about it for 2 hours. I didn't realize it.
Just for the record, I was laughing earlier because it took me a second to realize who Ant was calling Ray Charles. It took me a second to figure that out. That's why it was so funny to me.
Yeah.
All right. Listen, Adam, it's always a pleasure, my brother.
Yeah. I'll say this. I passed the league on, obviously. I think you guys have done an amazing job, and I'm having so much fun. So thank you for holding it down and taking whatever little I was able to help build and take it to further higher heights. So I appreciate you both very much, and even Sohail, who pisses me off sometimes, but it's all right. And E, who I apparently yell at now. So
yeah, and Adam, it was a dive.
Yeah, all right. We'll see about that. We'll see what the league's.
Kenny, we're gonna put it up on IG. Kenny, Kenny, we're sorry that your season's over. But the Gladiators have some reflecting to do, and that's it.
That's true. Adam, you did a really good job as commissioner at the other place as well. I don't think you get enough credit.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, we tell him. We Adam knows our sentiment to those things.
And I made that reference to E. In other sports when people do. I'm waiting for those pictures. Actually, it's good.
Yeah, and we Adam, we appreciate you, Adam.
Yeah,
as you said.
Yes, sir.
E, final words.
Final words. We don't have the.
Oh snap! Why do I keep forgetting? Just for the record, my bad, guys. My bad. Listen, I'm going to try to pinpoint the points of the video so everybody doesn't have to watch the entire thing to see certain things. But it is time for the favorite time of the show. I know it took 2 hours and 19 minutes to get here, but it is time for the Red Zone Top 10.
Welcome to the Red Zone Top 10, brought to you by Idea DC, Dynamic Tax and Accounting, and Cactus Sportswear. Did you make the top 10?
Ooh. And number 10
down here for Ravens. Oh, it's up. It's up, and it's a pick.
Ooh, okay.
That's what you got to do when you're your best players. Got to make plays. Sap just made the play.
He's right.
This is Jimmy's drop.
No.
Makes a man miss. Watch this.
Got him.
Dive, and that's the flag that's on the ground. Look at everybody point to the flag. See it?
The game-winning touchdown by Andy.
Andy has on all his flags. You asked for it, Kenny. This is what you wanted to see, right?
Yep.
We'll run some more.
I'm doing exactly what the Cows are doing, so I'm running.
That guy, there's no reason he should have got past you.
No flag.
Stand in front of him.
He's ran it all the way. What a
He runs like he doesn't want to run.
It's true.
Andy got Curtis again, first down, and he's rolling. Oh, might have
not
the
only
angle,
is he the
angle.
Yeah.
not only is he the
Andy
go
gets the
giver.
flag. It's all the way in. Thunder takes the lead.
Top 10. This guy has one of these a week, right?
That's moving. Oh,
Gone.
that's gone. Ball up top is back in the game.
Anas also did an impeccable job commentating this season.
Yep. I had to call him out.
Plays the previous drive, but they swapped out Ned for Riley.
Listen to that.
Bring this game a little closer. Big.
Got him.
Oh my God.
Congrats on the one touchdown, guys.
Special. Don't be like that. Don't be like that.
Should go. Oh, it's up, it's up, it's up, it's up, it's up.
Boom.
Oh my goodness.
Good job, Marcel. Good throw from Omar. Boom.
That's Fabby, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
Fabby putting on a clinic.
And about the taunting on the way into the end zone.
Yep.
No.
Oh my
This is
God.
the play.
Here.
This is a low top 10.
Never touch.
Disgrace.
Not out of bounds.
Oh my. Oh my.
Why am I in all these
Call the
plays?
touchdown.
Chick pumps. Looking deep, looking deep. Ooh, right at Andy. Going straight. Pitch.
Oh my God.
And you're not catching Lamar.
Yeah, you're not catching
You're
them.
not
Losing teams do. Good job from
Lamar
him
still
now.
on the field.
Good
Not out of
job.
bounds. That's going to be a touchdown. Pick 6 for Thunder.
Oh, Jimmy's 24. Wow.
24.
Interesting. All right, he should be 42.
And that is our top 10, guys. Yeah, you had no good. Yeah, and that is our top 10. For you guys who've tuned in, we've had about 12 to 20 viewers this entire 2 hours and 23 minutes. Y'all better than me because I would have tuned out to listening to myself a long time ago. So we appreciate that. Good luck to everybody. Tomorrow morning, shoot, I got to get to bed. I might have to pack my car tonight. Kenny, final words.
Again, great job from you folks running the league. A lot of competitive games. I think the fact that you have 12 to 20 people watching after 11 p.m. is a credit to how well you do on the show as well. So, yeah, good luck to teams still playing. Try to remember, like, you got to seize the moments in the postseason. It's one and done. Oh, D3 is still going, but everybody else is like, now. Don't look back with regrets. Do what you got to do. Jump in front of people, whatever it takes. Don't close
Will you be out there tomorrow, Ken?
Not tomorrow, but next week. Yes, high percentage.
It'll be 2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks from
2
next
weeks from
week.
now. There's nothing to fight.
Okay,
Nothing to
2
follow.
weeks. Oh, okay. Well,
Adam, final words.
Thank you both very much for keeping this thing going. It's been an amazing experience. I've had, honestly, the most fun I've had in years.
We're just happy you're playing that.
Yeah, that's it.
Appreciate
To
that.
be honest, we told you that on the side. Like,
Yep.
like just come play.
Play.
And we knew this. We knew you'd enjoy yourself. E.
It's late. We got to get up early. Good luck to everyone tomorrow. And play my song, and we actually get 3 people joining in doing it. Let's go. Adam, you might be new to this, but it's a simple dance.
Oh boy.
Hit my music. Left arm up. Right arm up. You just bounce it out. That's it. Let's go. Come on, Rob. Take us out. There we go. That's how the show ends. Tomorrow, yeah.
Taking no loss,